Hey everyone! Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Whitney Laurent, founder and CEO of Universe.ai. And in this video, we are going to be chatting about the 6 common signs of a dysregulated nervous system. If you're new here, or if anything nervous system regulation resonates with you, then make sure to give this video a like and comment down below and subscribe, follow, do all the things. Follow me on Instagram as well. Everything is linked for you in the description down below. Okay, before we get into all of the goody little details and the gushy little things here and there, I do want to tell you guys that I am getting this information from a doctor who has had 20 plus years of experience. So, you guys, this is credible information that we are going to go over. Oh, sorry. We're not going over the 6 common signs of a dysregulated nervous system. That is for actually a different video. This video, sorry, I had my cursor like marked in like a different spot on the screen. This video, we will be discussing the 6 causes of nervous system dysregulation. So these are the things that basically cause your nervous system to go dysregulated. So that is what we are going to be talking about today in this video. So first, before we get into that, we want to know, or maybe we might not know, what is the nervous system? The nervous system is your body's command center. So it controls everything from your thoughts, your feelings, to your breathing, to your heartbeat, to me sweating right now. Literally, it controls countless functions that keep you alive, healthy every second of the day. That is what our nervous system is. I kind of like to think of it as like the messaging system that basically like will tell you that the stove is hot, or tell you not to hang out with that certain person, or tell you to quit your job, or tells you to keep your job, or whatever, those things. I like to think of it as that. Okay, let's talk about the 2 different nervous systems. So one, there's the sympathetic. This is called the the fight or flight responses. Also, another response that I want to add into it, because there's actually 4. There's fight, flight, fawn, or freeze, where you absolutely do nothing. Those are like the 4 responses. But it prepares your body for action when you perceive danger or stress, causing symptoms like increased heart rate, shallow breathing, muscle tension, or heightened alertness. Now, there is the parasympathetic nervous system. This is known as your body's rest and digestion response. So it's actually the opposite of the sympathetic, right? Like one is like really like activating, and then one is like not activating. The parasympathetic helps you recover, heal, relax, slowing your heart rate, deepening your breathing, and supporting digestion and immune function. So those are the 2 areas within our nervous system, and that's what our nervous system is. So let's go ahead and get into the 6 causes of nervous system dysregulation. The first cause is chronic stress. Chronic. I am not going to be making any edits to this video either. So, you're going to get the real unedited version, because I'm sorry, I just don't have time to like edit these clips anymore. I used to be able to have time editing these clips, but with doing all of these 3 different platforms and also running the business, my time has just gotten really short down. So you're going to hear all the all of it. You're going to hear all the giggles, all of it. You're going to get it all of the misspelled words, the missayings, the this, the that. It's just how I am and who I am. Okay, chronic stress. This is ongoing exposure to stress. So, whether it be emotional, social, environmental, can cause, honestly, your sympathetic nervous system to just be activated all the time. So, you're just constantly in like a fight, flight, fawn, or freeze state of mind. You're just always like activated. Um, and this is really like your system's ability to like shift back and restore into that parasympathetic state. So, like that resting state, it's your ability to go from like one side all the way to the other side of like the nervous system's functioning abilities. This kind of leads to, not kind of, it does. This does lead to symptoms like anxiety, insomnia, or chronic tension. A lot of times with situations, especially stress in our life, we actually hold it in our muscle tissue called our fascia. And what happens is that our muscle tissue, the fascia, actually will just start to like reshape. That's kind of what causes like the knots in your body, like in your upper back or wherever those knots might be. That's from chronic stress because your fascia over a long period of time has actually held all of that tension there and it hasn't released it. And maybe you don't know how to release it, but that's where the muscle tension and things like that are being stored. The second one is traumatic experiences and emotional overwhelm. This one's really sad. But in my last video, if you're not familiar with that video, I did mention this particular topic in that video. If you want to go watch it or would like to see it, feel free. I'll link it for you in the description down below. But this one is past or ongoing trauma, including childhood adversity, emotional neglect, relational conflict, so like conflict in your relations, or significant life upheavals, like a big move, losing your job, um, getting, I don't know, excommunicated from your church, um, dropping out of having to drop out of college because they didn't renew you or what, I don't know. Renew's not the right word, but they didn't allow you to keep going. Those are all significant life upheavals. Um, Having to move out of where you live all of a sudden, because maybe you have a job loss and then you can't pay your rent. All of those throw your nervous system way out of balance, way dysregulated. So, all of these can sensitize your nervous system, making it easily triggered by minor sensors and harder to regulate effectively. That is so important. So important. So, that one friend that just gets triggered by like something really, really little that you might have asked of them or something that you might have said to them, you might just be like, oh, you're too much. Oh, you're sensitive. Oh, da 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 da. But really, their poor nervous system is just dysregulated. They're not bipolar. They're not in a mood swing. They're just triggered because their nervous system has been in this activated state because of ongoing trauma or childhood adversity, emotional neglect, life upheavals. I mean, things that are really intense, really deep. So give everyone around you a little bit of grace. We're all going through something, okay? If you don't know what the 10 categories of childhood adversity are, then check out the other video where I link it for you there. It's pretty interesting. It's emotional neglect is actually one of them. And then another one is like physical abuse, emotional abuse, abandonment, like when you were abandoned when you were a child by your parents. All of those things drop into this category of one of the second cause. Okay, number 3, lack of adequate rest and recovery. So, insufficient restorative sleep, inadequate downtime, or curious or continuous overwork disrupt the natural balance between the sympathetic and the parasympathetic systems, Research shows that poor sleep alone can significantly lower your heart rate variability, a hallmark of nervous system dysregulation. Yeah, poor sleep. Poor sleep is like, if you have insomnia, if you need to take like melatonin, those are kind of all signs of that your nervous system is not regulated. Like it's not balancing out. It's not, your body is not able to like fully like, your body's just not able to really do that. Um, and so it will throw your nervous system on the dysregulated side. Now we're all very different, like in where we are, right? From like dysregulation to like regulation, right? Like no two person has had the same like lived experiences. It's just not, that's just not true. So, because of that, our nervous systems are various places between wherever the scale is, right? Dysregulated to regulated is how we at universe.ai assess users. So that's where we kind of lie. And the reason why universe.ai is so different from like mindset, motivation, talk therapy, meditation, life coaching. The reason why we're so different than all that is because all of those things are good, but they all address the behavior side of it. None of them address the root, which your root is your nervous system. That's where the decisions stem from. So if we're really just trying to like target all of those things, well, then if you've ever tried any of those things, I guarantee you've asked yourself, like, why is my behavior not changing? Like, why am I still stuck in these same behavior pattern loops? Why am I still here? Why is it so hard for me to get out of this? Like, what's going on? Why? And that's the reason why I started universe.ai, because I was also there. Like I had tried all those different avenues and they were helping, but they weren't fully working. And that's why it's so important for us to focus on nervous system regulation, which is the only thing that universe.ai helps you with. That's the only thing that we do. We provide you access to regulate your nervous system in real time. That is our main goal. And we do this through providing you prompts and actions for you to use daily, because we understand that these causes that we're talking about here will happen to you daily. So we understand that it's important that we regulate our nervous system daily. I mean, it's so important that I emphasize that daily one more time, just because it is so crucial. All these causes, sleep happens daily, your diet happens daily, loud environments happen daily. You could be, as sad as it is and as traumatizing as it is, you could be in an adverse childhood experience right now. That happens to you daily. All of this stuff is happening daily. Okay? So let's hop back into this. Also, before we hop back into this, if you are a company or a brand and you would like to sponsor me and sponsor this channel, then definitely send in an email. We do segments of ads, a word from our advertisers, a word from our sponsors into the long format videos. If you would also like to partner with me on some of our short form content, then check out our TikTok and also our short form videos down below. We would love to work with you. We would love to work with any sort of brands. It doesn't even have to be mainly about nervous system regulation. You could be a clothing brand or a tech brand or any sort of brand, literally anything. DM us, send me an email, let's talk. All right, let's get back in to the signs. So, number 4 is social isolation or lack of a safe relationship. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm breathing a lot. Human nervous systems are wired for connection. Okay. Chronic loneliness, isolation, or unstable relationships can impair your nervous system's ability to regulate stress effectively, making it difficult to return to a calm and balanced baseline. Okay, So I want to make a short little comment really quick because I can already hear it. Like you're probably the person out there who's like, "Oh my gosh, I can hit every goal in my company. I am so stressed out with my life, but I am actually doing so good. I am accomplishing all my goals. I am, my boss is happy. I'm meeting all my deadlines. I'm meeting all of my obligations with my family structure. I have a beautiful, gorgeous house. My life looks perfect on the outside, right? But just because you're high functioning under stress does not necessarily mean because you can do that really well that it's actually healthy for you long term to do that really well, because it's not healthy for you to stay in a constant on state of mind. Even if you can do that really well, your body needs to come down. Okay, you need a calm, you need a balance. Like, it's not really really high alert, doing so well, da 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 da, like all the time. You have to give yourself a long period of time to balance, to become more regulated with your nervous system, okay? So just because you do it well doesn't mean it's healthy. I can already hear it. That leads me actually into number 5, which is lifestyle factors, right? Nutrition, exercise, environmental exposure. An imbalanced diet, nutrition deficiencies, excessive caffeine or alcohol, sedentary habits, exposure to toxins, or chronic sensory overload, such as constant noise, constant stimulation, or a lot of screen time, like doom scrolling all day long. These things can impair your nervous system and make it harder for you to build like that regulation balance, for you to get to that baseline quicker. So we all have like a period of time that it takes us to go from like a high hyperactive, like dysregulated state to a regulated state, calm, balance. We all have like a period of time of what it takes us to get from one to the other. And when you can get from one to the other like faster, then it means your nervous system is actually operating more on a regulated basis. So like for instance, say you go and do something that's like really overstimulating, and you're doing it for like a few hours. Say you do it for like 72 hours. Okay. It's going to take you 72 to 120, maybe even more, depending on obviously the particular individual, right? Like none of this is actually like concrete. It does depend on you. But between that could take you that amount of time to get more regulated. Whereas if your nervous system is operating from a regulated baseline naturally, then you could be an individual where it gets more regulated faster. It's like 24 hours after for the downtime. So balance between the both and how quickly you can move from a dysregulated state to a regulated state will tell us a lot. And that's why it's really important that with universe.ai, when you sign up for one of our subscriptions, it's really important that your behavior inputs that you put in there are accurate, because that's how we help you the best. If we know more information about what's going on with you, then we can give you personalized, better personalized tools, prompts, actions to help you regulate. So, very important for you to be accurate with that, because we're here to help you at the end of the day. Okay, number 6, physical health conditions. So, this is chronic illnesses, hormonal imbalances, autoimmune conditions, or prolonged inflammation can place significant demands on your nervous system, reducing its flexibility and capacity to recover from stress. Importantly, this is like kind of overall, but importantly, these factors often overlap and they often compound. So it's not just like one of these 6 causes. It could be you have all 6. And then even with all 6, you could be in a very traumatizing childhood environment happening to you right now, and there's 10 categories that are in there. So you could have all 10 of those categories happening in your life and all 6 of these happening in other areas of your life, right? And all of these causes, that's a lot. Sorry, that kind of just like lost my train of thought there. I had to like pause because that is a lot. Like that is a lot. That's a lot of dysregulation, you know? And we're here to regulate your nervous system. We're here to help with that. So, importantly, these factors often overlap and compound one another. By understanding the common root causes of nervous system dysregulation, you can start addressing them at their source, rebuilding resilience and restoring your nervous system's natural flexibility. Okay, so with that said, right, I get it. We have to live our life. I am not telling you to be under a rock for the rest of your life. I'm not telling you to live your life like that. We have to live and be free, right? So, with that is going to cause and have things happen to us that are naturally going to dysregulate our nervous system. There's only a certain amount of things we can control in life, right? Only a certain amount of decisions we can control. With that said, the more you know, the more you can move over to a regulated nervous system, okay? So, on a grand scale of things, this will help you know the causes. For instance, like a loud environment, like having dinner, trying to like talk with your friends, that's going to dysregulate your nervous system. Like you're going to need time to rebalance. You're going to need time to regulate. You're going to need time to disconnect from that and to just get a little bit more. You're going to need time, you know? So every day, there will be things that dysregulate you. And that's just a natural part of life. Sleep can dysregulate you. What you eat and don't eat could dysregulate you. Obviously, like work environments, family environments, all those things can dysregulate you. And then, more serious, if you have like an autoimmune condition or you have like hormonal imbalances, like your period is irregular, or chronic illnesses, like all of those are signs of a dysregulated nervous system. Now, I will say this, it's important that you use universe.ai daily, like I already mentioned before, because there's so many things that can happen to you over a period of every day. And I will say this as well, it's super important that you're consistent and that you're repetitive. Oh my goodness, I cannot emphasize that enough, okay? This regulating your nervous system is the same exact concept as you going to the gym and wanting to have a 6 pack on the first session with your personal trainer. You're not going to have a 6 pack on your first session with your personal trainer. But if you go to the gym every single day for 3 months, for 6 months, to maybe even a year, at that year mark, you will have a 6 pack. Regulating your nervous system is the same exact concept, okay? We can help you baby step and get better from a dysregulated nervous system, but there's no diagnosis and we cannot cure in one session, okay? And we're not curing anyway. Our goal is to give you access because there's so many variables that come into place. That's why we say we can't diagnose or cure and we're not like medical, any of that, because there's so many factors that come into play that are out of our personal control, right? Like how repetitive you are, how consistent you are, what's going on in your natural environment, what are you allowing yourself to be exposed to, or maybe what's out of your control as well. There's so many different factors. But what I do know is that over a period of time, your nervous system will be more regulated. And even after one day of using universe.ai, you will have a more regulated nervous system from wherever you are on that scale. So, with that said, we will be launching soon. Our website right now is not live, but bookmark it. It is in the description down below for you guys to check out. And if any of this resonated with you, if you were like, oh my gosh, that is exactly what's going on in my life. Yes, I want to know more. I want to learn more. We will be talking about more things in the future. When I first started this video, I said we're going to be talking about probably the 6 signs of a dysregulated nervous system, but we're going to actually get into the signs a little bit later in a different video. This video is all just about those causes that I mentioned previously. If you have any questions about what it is that we're doing, or any questions in particular about the nervous system, or any questions about what I've said on this video, then make sure to go ahead and email me or drop them in the comments, and I'd be happy to answer anything for you guys. I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.